how's everybody doing? It's Paul from Magpie 24/7, back again after Newcastle United wound up pre-season, drew a line under that, and have now got themselves ready and primed for the visit of Nottingham Forest to St James's Park. Can't wait to be there for the opening of the Premier League season. Fantastic 2 victories for Newcastle over the weekend in the space in under 24 hours, and that is some going. A mixture of teams, a mixture of setups, some younger players also as well, getting a run out and getting an opportunity from the bench as well. So positives here, positives there, positives everywhere. We don't look like we picked up any more injuries, happy days indeed. And we've now got to start looking and casting our attention towards a huge game against Nottingham Forest. It's so important after last season and the fucking shower of shit start that we had under that cabbage-eated bastard Steve Bruce, that we now turn it round and we get off to a good start, get some points, get some victories on the board early doors, and we have a season where we are not looking over our shoulders. I've seen lots of people talk about where can Newcastle finish, where will Newcastle finish. For me, first and foremost, it's about having a season where we're not having to look over our shoulders, a season where we're not having squeaky bum every fucking single week in, week out. We're not creating chances, we're shipping goals, that sort of thing. So I'm looking for that sort of positivity. I'm looking for the club to be making strides towards looking up rather than fucking looking down continuously, and I think we will do that. I still maintain, I've said it all along, I think we will be top half. Most realistically, probably between 8th and 10th, but who knows if the season goes well for you, if we get off to a good start, if everything is ticking along rosy. You never know, we might be able to sneak into a Europa Conference League or get some sort of European football next season. That is a possibility. It's not the most realistic of things, you might argue, with other teams investing heavily and with obviously the cartels still in the mix and stuff as well, but I would say definitely top half of the table and looking upwards rather than down has to be the aim. There's teams that we should be able to expect to be able to go and win, and it's about, and again the ownership's talked about this, about putting in those solid foundations ready for success for the future. And speaking of which, over the course of the weekend you'll have also seen that our new CEO from Atlanta, from the States, was in attendance along with the likes of Staveley and everybody. So it was nice to see him. He's coming over, he was checking out the games, he's got a little sample of what it is going to be like when it comes to the nitty-gritty of Premier League action week in and week out. He still doesn't start his job, he still doesn't start his role for another couple of weeks. I think, don't shoot the messenger if it's slightly wrong, but I think it's about the 22nd of August. I think there's another 3 weeks to go before he starts officially at the club. But yeah, flying over, taking the games in, a learning exercise no doubt for him, and also an opportunity to meet and greet people and start to build those relationships. But it's going to be key because I still maintain Newcastle will be active in the transfer window. Still lots of rumours and murmurings about the likes of Maddison from Leicester. Cracking signing that would be. Newcastle are doing the business with regards to transfers, but it is about building blocks of success in place, about putting in people who are best in class and who are suitable and who are intelligent and who are astute enough to be able to take the club onwards and upwards. Unlike the fucking muppet that was previously, in that sort of similar role, aka Mr. Slip on fucking shoes himself, Mr. He can't even order the photocopy of toner paper. Photocopy of toner paper? I knew what I meant. Photocopy of paper. Lee Bastard Janley, he's long gone. We're getting in now a completely and utterly different kettle of fish. So it was nice to see him over and getting ready for his a crucial job in front. And it's great to see competent people running the club, custodians who care about the club, and it all comes back to that Saudi PIF vision of doing things the right, everything being process driven. So yes, it's frustrating when we can't get a transfer done at lightning speed. when we need attacking players in and whatnot. But every decision that has to be made in a process-driven way, and that will ultimately lead to success further, down the line. And the best skyscrapers, the best buildings in the world are built on sound footings, on sound foundations. And at Newcastle United, it's going to be no different whatsoever. So excited, I am excited, looking forward to this season. In a way, I don't think I've been this excited or eager for a season since I was probably back in school, back in the late 90s and stuff like that, going in when we were fighting at the very top of the Premier League. You had hope, you never knew, could this be the season that we win a cup, win the league? You were looking forward to European adventures, clubs coming from far afield, coming to St James's Park, all of those sorts of great things were on the horizon there. And this season it feels like you're just standing upon the precipice of this new Newcastle United, this new vision, this new direction that we're going in and stuff. So yeah, exciting times, but it's critical that the players remain 100% focused, match out week in, week out, and do the business. Because regardless, if we don't sign anyone, which Eddie Howe suggested that we could possibly do some business before the weekend, that the players that we've got out and available are more than capable of being able to get the points against Nottingham Forest, with the greatest of respect to Nottingham Forest and their return to the Premier League after quarter of a bastard century. So yeah, we should have plenty in the tank. And some of the signs as well from the games again over the weekend, there were large spells of the game where Newcastle were looking to get the ball down and play football and play triangles and work it, then get it forward, get it wide, pass with purpose. We didn't have St Maximin losing the ball as much, trying to pick out players, picking out the clever pass. St Maximin scored a fucking worldie. Callum Wilson scored a worldie as well. Great football, that first goal. I think any other week, if St Maximin hadn't scored that second one, if it was just a tap in or something like that, people would be purring, people would be jumping all over the Callum Wilson goal, because it was absolutely fucking unbelievable. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic all around, the way that we knocked the ball around, we created the opportunity, and the way that he sort of sorted his feet out in the box and stuff as well to be able to slot away was fantastic. And that's the difference between your Callum Wilsons and your Chris Woods at the moment, because Chris Wood probably wouldn't have scored that goal. Callum Wilson is capable of it. The different types of players, different types of strikers, I totally agree with that. But again, it's why it leans towards getting those attacking players in. But I still think for this weekend we should go in there confident, at home, with all the positivity that's currently surrounding our club, and take advantage and get off to a positive start. Not be the crisis club, not be the backline story that the likes of the Sun can fucking take the piss out of and try and draw their little angles and get their little fucking issues and stuff off, and their little digs at us and whatnot. But we've got to get off to a positive start. I'm confident that we will get off to a confident start, a positive start, and a game that's there for the taking for 3 points for Newcastle. But at the weekend, like I said, 2 games, and they're not against shit opposition where we've previously played lesser opposition, where we played games that you play again. It's no disrespect to your Rotherhams of the world, but it's just not the same. These teams that we've beaten, even against Benfica where we lost, these are top draw Champions League level sides, and we're going toe for toe with them, pound for pound, a lot of the time without our first choice starting 11 and stronger substitute bench going. To get those 2 victories I thought was really impressive over the weekend. And the Benfica game, let's face it, I do think that we would have most likely won that game as well if it wasn't for the fact that the fucking referee was a Benfica fan, and some of his decisions were like he never read the referee's fucking handbook in his life. It was bizarre, it was shocking. But it's a friendly, the result really didn't matter. But I also just want to close. I think this season, I can't remember a season like previously. You go in and 9, 10 of your starting players, who are they going to be, who's going to be starting, who will be on the bench. We've known that for so long. Predictable that the same names continuously at the club, the same issues, the same problems, the same frustrations, the same deficiencies in the squad. But we're going into a new season now. The players that we've signed already this summer, on top of the players that we've signed in January, means that barring maybe 2 or 3 players, you do not know. You're constantly having to guess who will be starting that first game. You cannot say with 100% certainty in certain positions that you know who will be starting. There is options. There is different players who can be brought in. You've got players, even the likes of your Richies, when they're coming in, they are doing a job and offering something to Eddie Howe. Then you've got Elliot Anderson coming in, and again, he's giving questions. He's making the manager's job as difficult as possible to be able to pick a team week in, week out. And isn't it so refreshing that we're going into a season like that? That you, me, and everybody else, probably even Eddie Howe, doesn't know who will be starting that first game. So it's just absolutely a fantastic situation to be in. We know the club is going to strengthen further. That's exciting. That's on the horizon. There will be players coming in. There will be players who are going out, no doubt about it, as well, to be able to balance that squad out. So it continues the Newcastle supporters' interest in this current transfer window. It still spikes our interest because we've got we've got a side in this particular fight for once. Again, on the previous years, you're scratching around and you're wondering whether we can bring in fucking Chowdhury on a scrounge from Leicester. Now we're going back to Leicester after their best. We're going after the Madisons of the world. So it perfectly illustrates the jump and the spike and the change of fortunes. You've got Leicester, who haven't spent a penny this summer, haven't brought anybody around, needing to create a little bit of finance, needing to be able to create a little bit of money to be able to wheel and deal and still stay within this FFP malarkey. And then you've got Newcastle now on the way up. But again, 12 months ago, look at the last summer, and it was the other way around. Leicester was still very much on the up, and it was Newcastle who were down on our arse and stuff like that, having to go to the begging bowl to Leicester. Now we're going with a stack of fucking cash and looking for their better players. So it's amazing. And I think if we can get James Maddison in, he's the name that sort of keeps cropping up and is come to prominence more over the last weekend. I think that'll be fantastic business because he scores great goals. He doesn't score tap-ins. When he scores, the fucking spectacular strikes. He scored against Newcastle, so that still lives in the memory. He also has plenty of assists and stuff as well. He can play 1 or 2 different positions also, and it really does strengthen Newcastle tremendously. And again, it helps towards that British spine that Eddie Howe seems to be really keen to be able to put into Newcastle and stuff as well. So again, that's nice to be able to see that. Again, we're not looking towards the foreign markets to look for the cheaper deals and see what we can work there. We're looking to pay that British tax, if you will, to be able to get that British spine of a team ready for next season. So yeah, still lots more excitement to look forward to, and the return of Premier League football after what feels like fucking ages. Craziness. And just before I finish, I know I always try to do them quick, but it never quite works like that. But last night, watched the final for the European Championships for the women's side, and I thought they were absolutely fantastic. I thought the game management, it was gutting when the Germans equalised, but when they got the noses back ahead England, I thought they were fantastic. They managed to see the game out ever so well. Impressive from the coaches from England and the team, the intelligence, the desire, the heart to be able to win that trophy and to become, instant instant heroes, role models. And I've talked about this before with my little ones going to see Newcastle women play after being told that girls can't play football and stuff. I thoroughly enjoyed last night's game. I thought both sides were really good. The quality was absolutely top drawer. The drama, it was all there, wasn't it? And to see an England side, first time in my lifetime, win a senior competition, it was absolutely just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. My little ones were over the fucking moon with it all. They were celebrating, they were keen, they wanted to know about the players and how they were playing and what they were doing. But yeah, even sweeter to do it over the German, German opposition and stuff, wasn't it? So the old England-Germany rivalry reared its head again. But it's nice to see for once that England are doing the business. England win the competition. Millions and millions of people, by the looks of the viewing figures overnight, watched into it. There'll be more spiked interest in that. Newcastle women actually played yesterday as well, completing the pre-season. They've had a really tough pre-season against good opposition, and I think they're again in a really fantastic position to try and win the league, get promoted, and start with that vision. And that vision is onwards and upwards, like it is across the board. Newcastle truly are united going into this season, whether it's the women's team, the first team, the community work that we're doing through the foundation. It is just a club to be so proud to be a part of. Everything that it is doing on and off the pitch, it is fantastic. So yeah, looking forward to later in the week. We'll do a preview for the Nottingham Forest game. It's going to be a difficult one to be able to predict who's going to start, like I touched on before. But in the meantime, take care, keep it tuned. England are champions, and I'll speak to you later.